The White House is ramping up COVID prevention measures amid an uptick in cases this winter. The administration announced new plans, including sending 4 more COVID tests to each household who requests them. The program was paused at the end of the summer to ensure the testing kit supply would be enough for a potential increase of cases in the winter. COVID cases have been rising as people gather for the holidays. White House COVID-19 leaders say cases are rising across the country, but it isn't the disruptive force it once was. The COVID-19 response coordinator also encouraged Americans to do their part and get vaccinated.
We don't want this winter to look like last winter or the winter before. And it doesn't have to. What's different is that we have an updated vaccine that targets a version of the virus we're fighting. But we need people to get that vaccine.
Now, the test kits can be sent to the Virgin Islands. To get them sent to your home, we've put a link on how to get a test kit right on our website at USVICBS.com. Well, meantime, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill to allow Puerto Rico to decide their future as a non-U.S. territory. The bill would allow Puerto Ricans to decide if they want statehood, independence, or sovereignty in free association with the U.S. The House passed the legislation on a 232 to 191 vote. Lawmakers on both sides debated this issue on the House floor. Those for this legislation argued it's a huge step forward towards Puerto Rico's decolonization. But others against this bill are concerned about the economic implications of changing Puerto Rico's status. Puerto Rico's resident commissioner encouraged House members to look for this legislation on the floor.
Territorial condition constrains the island's ability to prosper and has relegated the island into an indefinite second-class status when compared to the 50 states. And this is the main reason behind social, economic, and fiscal challenges we have faced, forcing a mass exodus of millions of Puerto Ricans to the mainland in search for that equality.
Now, Puerto Rico has been under U.S. control since 1898. Of course, much like here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, the island's residents are citizens, but they don't pay federal income taxes since they don't have voting representation in Congress. They also don't have access to federal programs like SSI, Medicaid, SNAP benefits, and much more. The legislation the House passed Thursday will move to the Senate for consideration. If passed, Puerto Ricans will decide their fate next November. Well, meantime, from holiday parties to events, this is the time of year when we tend to get over. Sorry, I'm going to redo this one too. And from holiday parties to events, this is the time of year when we tend to get together, gather with friends and family. Now, some look forward to it, while some may not. So USVI News' Emily Matson has more on how to manage the anxiety that can come with celebrating.
It's the holiday season, and getting together is, of course, a part of it. But if parties and events make you nervous, you're not alone.
Pay attention to yourself and how you're feeling and thinking about the impact of that anxiety.
From feeling anxious in social situations or going somewhere you don't know a lot of people to stress from hosting duties, holidays can bring out a lot of emotions. Cleveland Clinic psychologist Dawn Potter suggests trying to narrow down what's causing the problem.
We have our thoughts or our feelings or our fears, and we just kind of run with them, like we're thinking about a scenario and how it could go wrong. However, I'm really asking yourself, what is it specifically, and why does it bother me so much?
Potter says there's only so much in your control, but asking for help can lessen the burden. At a party, find someone who you're comfortable talking to. And if you're not looking forward to seeing someone, limit interaction with that person or leave early. And if you know you have something stressful coming up, Potter says to prepare for the stress, don't do other difficult things that same day.
If you're bringing something to the party, bring something that you can prepare in advance. Don't be cooking right up until the last minute, so that you can do something relaxing earlier on in the day so that you're in a better state of mind before you go.
And if you're still feeling overwhelmed, it's okay to say no. Emily Matson reporting.
And Potter says using alcohol to ease nerves is not a good idea. It may make you feel better in the moment, but may also make you say or do things you would normally, which can fuel your anxiety afterwards. And in other health news today, new data shows an experimental drug can slow progression of Alzheimer's disease. And while it isn't a cure for the disease, it could be a big piece of the puzzle. Kristen Allen reports.
Like a rock hit me. Wow.
For John Dreebs, the words "you have Alzheimer's" might as well have been a bomb dropping on his life.
My mother-in-law had Alzheimer's, and she lived with us, and that was a challenge, and I saw what happened. So I'm thinking, okay, that's maybe in store for me.
Since his diagnosis in January, there's new hope for treatment in Alzheimer's disease.
Lecanemab is a new drug. It is very encouraging. If FDA approves it, and if it is as we think it will be historic.
Lecanemab, a monoclonal antibody treatment, is the first of its kind proven to slow down cognitive decline related to Alzheimer's by 27%.
It could mean the difference between someone being able to drive. It could mean the difference between someone continuing to work. It can mean the difference with someone feeling comfortable living alone. So it does make a difference, and it is a big impact.
The treatment will be most effective for people like Dreebs, who are in the early stages of the disease. He's open to any treatment that could potentially help him hold on to his memory for a little while longer.
But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to put it off.
In the meantime, Dreebs doesn't let Alzheimer's get him down, and he has a message for people fighting alongside him.
Don't quit. You can still do nearly all the things you could before, and if you can't, keep pushing so that you can.